Okay, welcome to the, I can't remember.
NLP UK Training Podcast.
Thanks, Steve, for a new voice today in charge. Well, not really in charge, I'm just a guest, so I'll shut up. Steve, what we got today?
So we're going to talk about 3 Ps or 3 principles.
3 principles, right. I know of it. Just remind me.
So the 3 principles are the way we experience life and everything. So basically, we don't.
That's a big statement, mate. That's a big statement to start a podcast.
It's
with 30 seconds in, not 30 seconds in. It's like, whoa. Just so slow down. Tell me about Sid Banks. Tell me about...
Well,
I know
I'm doing the history and stuff.
Okay.
Why don't we just say what it is?
Well,
and then make
okay, go on. Well, I like the history because the reason I like the 3 Ps is because it was an epiphany by a guy called Sid Banks, who was like a Scottish welder. He's not got a PhD. He's not a mystic. He's not gone and lived in a cave for 30 years and meditated. He just had an amazing breakthrough, epiphany, clarity, whatever you want to call it. So, and this is around his 3 principles, which are
mind, consciousness, and thought. But rather than going into what normal 3 Ps people tell you about mind, consciousness, and thought, we'll just basically break down how it works. So essentially, we don't see the world through goggles or a camera. We're actually the projectionist. And this has been proved by neuroscience as well.
We are the projectionists. Just hang on, just go stop, because if I'm on the other end of this podcast, I'm already going, what do you mean with the projectionist?
So, for example, if I see a car and I think they're driving fast, that's my version of what's going on. There is a car, it is moving, but it's what's my view of what is driving fast. So, for example, it might have a very loud V8 engine, and I think, oh, he's going too fast. But actually, the way I see the world, my script, what is in my script governs what I project out.
Right. Okay. So for your first opening sentence in all that about 2 minutes ago was everything that comes to us is coming through these 3 Ps, these mind, thought, consciousness.
It's projected inside out.
Inside out. Okay, let me again reel you in on the inside out. What do you mean?
So it looks like the sun's coming up in the morning, doesn't it?
It does.
And we've believed the sun comes up in the morning, but we've known for 500 years that actually the earth revolves around the sun, but it appears that the sun's coming up to us. In the same way, it appears that politicians annoy us, or that we get upset by other drivers, or that we get upset by different stuff. But once we kind of realize that it's all coming from inside, it's just our perceptual system that's projecting stuff out. Then once we realize that, things begin to calm down because we know it's just us. It's all coming from me.
Right. Okay. Now we do align on this. I think there's areas of disagreement. I think, but pretty much in line on Sid's stuff there. I would say there is no car and there is no, but there's a danger with me with where I go is a bit woo woo.
Yeah.
People will like just switching off. Yeah. What do you mean there is no car? That's quite a quantum.
Well, the fact we realise it's a car is coming from inside.
So there isn't a car, but I mean that's another podcast for another day, because that's just ridiculous at a level of
yeah. But
so,
for most everyday people, there is a car. There is somebody who's annoying us. There is a politician. There is something we disagree with. And the old way of thinking is that everything comes from outside and affects us.
Yes, right. Thank you. Now we're getting there. Now I'm with you totally. So it appears that I'm in here looking out these little glass windows in my eyes, looking out over an objective world that's happening outside of me. And it really feels like I'm being triggered by the bad driver, the red traffic light, the nowhere to park, right?
Yeah.
And it really feels like that.
Yeah.
It feels like that for me and it feels like that for you.
Yeah.
But it isn't that.
No. But it takes a while to grasp.
So what's really happening is that... What's really happening?
So...
I know you've tried twice.
Our brain is predicting what's going around us. So, when you see someone in the street or you see someone in a training room, you think, oh, that's Jane. And then you see her the next day, she's got her hair done differently. You realise it's not your mate Jane. or you see someone in the street that you recognize and you think, so your brain's predicting all the time what's going on. So every word you're listening to me say, you're predicting the next words that are coming out of my nose.
Again, I agree with that. And the nose thing's very clever, by the way. But you are confusing me because so far you've spoken about Sid's three P's, mind, thought, and consciousness. You've also mentioned Richard Wilkins' script, and now you're talking about prediction.
Yeah.
And that's three different things. Then we could add NLP into that.
Well, let's not add NLP.
Okay.
So basically, everything we've stored, everything we've learned from being tiny babies has been fed to us by our parents and carers and guardians and our teachers. And that all gets stored in what we call model of the world, psychological schema. Richard Wilkins calls the script. So what gets projected out is based on what's inside our script.
Yeah. Okay.
So what gets the predictions that the brain fires out when it's saying, is that Jane? Oh, no, it's not Jane. It's firing out predictions to best guess what's going on around us.
Okay. All right. I kind of get it. This is a debate we've had over a couple of beers, and it's probably more fun over a couple of beers.
Yeah.
To be fair, stone cold sober on a Thursday morning here. But I think it's interesting if we can get our heads around it. But what's the point of understanding the three Ps? What's the benefit of understanding that actually it's not, because it's not what we think it is. It appears like I'm in here looking at an objective world, but actually what's happening is it's all created from within my head.
Yeah.
Right? So who cares?
Well, the benefit is once we realize that it's all created internally, then we don't have to do anything else because our brain kind of self-corrects. Once I realize that it's not you who's irritating me, be asking me hard questions, it's all coming from inside me, then I'm like dead chilled. So I don't need to do NLP.
Yeah.
I don't need to do positive self-talk. I don't need to do timeline therapy. Everything is coming from inside me. And once I kind of realize it, I do fall out of it sometimes.
Yes.
You know, Josh was sat next to me watching Chelsea play football, and he's like a big Chelsea fan. He's like ranting at the TV. And I'm like, when you stop ranting, quiet down. And then I realize that's all coming from me.
Yeah.
And so I don't say anything. Let him enjoy it. Fill your boots.
Yeah, that's interesting because I've known you a long time, Steve, and I would say that in the last couple of years you have been noticeably calmer, more serene.
Yeah.
And not, so is that a result of understanding?
Not with everybody, not with Dawn, not with Josh, but I try.
Yeah. But this understanding, because I think, because what my
sometimes.
My little niggle on NLP, right? So, because I know that you run NLP, and I've done my NLP, and I get, my issue with NLP straight away is the N, the L, and the P, neuro-linguistic programming. That tells you all you need to know. It's overly complicated load of twaddle, but it's techniques. And so it's positive psychology. Generally, what my area of specialism is positive psychology, which ultimately boils down to a series of things that you can do to get in a better mindset or to have a better life. We are now going at a level above that or below that, or not sure which way we go. Underneath it, where this is now not a technique. Once you understand the three principles, this is where I think the richness and the magic sauce is you don't have to do anything. It is not a technique.
No.
It's just an awareness of how the human being fundamentally operates.
Yes.
And once you get that, then you will feel calmer. The red traffic light and the sun cheering at Chelsea will not trigger you as much as it used to, and you'll end up feeling calmer. That's the point.
Once you get like an embodied understanding. So if you read some books like you recommended to me in 2016, Sid Banks and Jamie Smart, like that, and I read them, Jack Prensky, but I didn't really get it, and then I went deeper into it, did more training, did a whole coaching program myself on it, learned how to coach it, and got this, what I would call an embodied understanding, where I know that if something's bothering me, then I'm like, I just say to myself, well, that's just coming from inside me. That's just me.
Yeah.
And it settles.
Absolutely. And you would get, and I think this is where the magic really is, because you don't have to do anything with it. I think people are over-intellectualizing.
That's the
and
problem.
we're trying to understand it intellectually. Whereas what we're saying is you just let it settle.
That's why I didn't want to start off by explaining mind, consciousness, and thought, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
So I did a coaching demo with someone a couple of years ago who'd read the 3 Ps. And I did the coaching demo. The person afterwards was like completely chilled. The problem had gone completely in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And this guy said, well, you never mentioned mind, consciousness, and thought. And I said, well, I don't need to.
No.
I just coach.
Yes.
So when we're training coaches in 3 principles, one of the things we say is don't try and teach it to people. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just help them get into their true self space. In the last podcast, you talked to Callie about Nixon.
Yeah.
Well, when we're coaching people, we're just getting to the space where they can have insights.
Yeah.
Usually insights into what's happened in the past, but not necessarily analysing what's happened in the past, but just realising that it's all just from their script.
But here's where, I don't know how long we've got, but give me a couple of minutes on this. This is where I have a massive issue with traditional psychology, traditional therapy particularly, is that we go back into the problem.
Yeah.
You're encouraged. You're almost if you're in therapy or counselling, you're encouraged to tell me about your problem. Let's go back to when you were 8 and all that trauma of 8. And you'll whoosh back there and your brain takes you straight back there as if it was now. You're reliving it. But I've met a woman who's like been in therapy for 17 years.
Yeah.
And she's been literally expected to relive that trauma for 17 years.
Yeah.
And she's not getting rid of it.
No.
She just got better at talking about it.
Yeah.
But it affects her every time she thinks
NLP
about
is
it.
very good for that because there's a very quick dissociative technique that will get rid of trauma. Whereas with with 3 principles, you don't need to do technique. You just have to realize that that's just, Sid Banks calls your perceptual system thought. And that's not your individual thoughts. It's just the ability to have thoughts. So once you realize that phobia is just thought and it's all coming from inside, then any concerns about what might be happening in the future, any anxiety, well, it's just thought.
Yeah.
The anxiety from presentation doesn't get any TARDIS and come back to now. It must be coming from
now, thinking about the presentation.
So
also the trauma from 17 years ago, the only place that's alive is in your thinking in this moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, there's a guy called Jack Pransky's cousin, and he said that thoughts...
He's called Jack Pransky's cousin?
George Pransky.
Oh.
And he said thoughts like a continuum. People who have problems, psychological problems, think that their thoughts are real.
Yes.
Whereas the other end of the continuum is people realize, well, they're not real. It's just what's going through my head at the time.
Steve, I think that, Steve, is probably where we should end, because I think the vast majority of people think their thoughts are real. They really, really do. People go their entire life absolutely shit scared of what's going on in their head. Their thoughts are scaring them. And we are therefore, it's almost like a form of self-abuse.
Yeah.
It's that we think what we think is real. And what the 3 Ps says, it's once you understand that it's just the thinking in this moment, you're going to be feeling whatever you're thinking. Are we agreeing on that?
Yeah.
So whatever you're thinking in this moment right now is you'll be feeling that.
Yeah.
So
and you're also feeling things that you're not conscious you're thinking about as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's probably lost.
So you could have something. Well, you could have something going on in your life, and you're feeling a bit down, and it might just be that it's like the goggles you're wearing, what you're predicting out.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, it's once you have like a knowing that everything comes from inside, it allows things to settle.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. And it's like the old saying of Peter Drucker, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Well, 3 Ps eats NLP, positive psychology, and all other stuff, because it's all additive. It's like that. I like NLP because it's a good way of getting people to start the journey to be more positive and to get rid of limiting beliefs. And then we explain how it really works.
But 3 principles is subtractive. It's who wants less on their mind. Yes.
It's 3 Ps is starting off with the point of view that when you're coaching somebody, you're starting off as a coach knowing they're perfect, that there's nothing wrong with them, that they were born perfect, that their true self is perfect, and all the other stuff, all the ego, all the chatter in the head is not really them.
Okay, Steve. I mean, it's blown my mind. I think it's a really interesting conversation. I'll blow your mind next time with some quantum physics.
Fantastic. Good to see you.
See you, mate.